Today we're going to be talking about gratitude, and not the good things about it, the dangers of gratitude. What are the problems that we have in gratitude? And studies showing benefits like reduced inflammation, improved well-being, and even increased longevity. Incredible. Sign me up. Just by gratitude, I get to live longer. It sounds too good to be true. However, these are often small studies or based on correlational evidence. First, are the studies robust? Number one, they have small effect sizes. Meta-analyses and controlled experiments show gratitude interventions have only modest effects. That's a key word there, modest effects. Comparable to other low-touch psychological tools. Then we have narrative and social forms. They may be slightly more effective than generic list making, but the difference is not dramatic. And we have correlation versus causation. Very, very important point here. Correlation versus causation. Many of the most impressive claims, like increased longevity or cognitive function, are based on correlational, not causal research. Meaning that the gratitude didn't cause the impressive claim. It was correlated with it. Very important. And then skepticism in the field. Much of the research is preliminary, sometimes based on small samples or animal studies. And often, just sorry about that, and often fails to address possible downsides or cultural differences. In gratitude, I just had a fleeting thought about an animal being grateful or something. Gosh, animals don't do that, and neither did humans forever. Why? It's too much, too much. That's why we have an important job to do here with getting to the bottom of this whole gratitude racket. There's a lot of problems. Most of the preliminary research that gets touted as cutting edge in wellness culture never ends up accounting to anything when it's subject to further scientific scrutiny. So is something fishy here? There are legitimate reasons to be skeptical. First, overstating the science. The consensus is that gratitude practices have small positive effects, not the huge impact that was sometimes implied. And then selective reporting, null results, cultural context, or possible negative effects, like toxic gratitude or gratitude in abusive relationships. Then there's early stage research, sometimes unreplicated findings, and should not be taken as settled science. Reality check. Small effect sizes. Meta-analysis show gratitude interventions have modest benefits, similar to other low-effect psychological tools, not potent medical interventions. Second, correlation is not causation. Longevity, cognition claims are based on correlational data, not proof that gratitude causes these outcomes. Unbelievable, unbelievable. This racket, you got a stranglehold on everything. Like, good luck, good luck. If you're trying to shed some truth on a topic, it's gonna be very difficult for you to do so. That's what we're gonna do here. With your help, with you liking, subscribing, commenting, you're gonna help us get this video where it needs to be, at the top of that search result for gratitude, so that people can at least have something to compare against. Selective reporting on the dark side of gratitude. Let's talk about that for a minute. Like toxic gratitude we mentioned, or gratitude in abusive relationships. The toxic gratitude, there was some reports or studies, but let's see here. Moral violations. Gratitude can motivate lying, unethical behavior to protect benefactors. That was Zoo, 2020. Emotional suppression. Forced gratitude leads to toxic positivity, invalidating trauma. like, for example, others have it worse. And then power imbalances. These are like three of the worst things about the dark side of gratitude. Ooh, these are terrible. Emotional suppression, forced gratitude, toxic positivity. All the thinking about others always have it worse. I want to bring something to your attention here, or a question. I want to ask you a question. I want to provoke some thinking. Do you think wealthy, affluent, aristocratic, high class, whatever you want to call it, you think people at the upper echelon in society practice gratitude? And do you think that if they should be observed practicing gratitude, would it be a pseudo-humility, an exercise in pseudo-humility? Do poor people or lower to middle income people practice more gratitude than upper income people? Is gratitude a salve, a pacifier for the masses, the poor, lower income people with problems and troubles, helpless, powerless people? These are questions for you to ask. Does the practice of gratitude lead to accepting unfair governing, unfair business practices, employment practices? These are questions to think about. And we'll get to those in the future. Power imbalances. Low status individuals may tolerate mistreatment to repay perceived debts. Can you believe that? Incredible. Like, just saying that, it's hard to believe. Gratitude narratives can gaslight victims into accepting oppression. So there's some early stage research. Why skepticism is warranted. Couple of points here on this. Number one, many claims, few replications. Okay, most neuroscience on gratitude, brain circuit rewiring, serotonin increases, inflammation reduction, is based on early, sometimes unreplicated findings. For example, fMRI studies show brain regions active during gratitude, but these are preliminary and not fully understood. Also, small sample sizes and experimental limits. Many cited studies involve small groups or artificial lab settings. These may not translate into real-world gratitude. The field lacks large-scale long-term studies. Then the issue of correlation versus causation. Dramatic claims about longevity or cognitive function are based on correlational research, not randomized controlled trials. Very important. Unclear mechanisms. While gratitude is associated with activation in some brain areas, how this leads to lasting behavioral or health changes remains speculative. Then we have the overstated impact. Even the best studies show only modest effects on well-being, similar to mindfulness or journaling. Narrative, social gratitude may be slightly more effective, but not game changers. And finally, the neglected downsides and cultural context. The field often ignores the negative effects such as toxic gratitude, the power imbalances, or the cultural differences in gratitude experiences. So the bottom line is that gratitude is based on a mix of promising but still evolving science and persuasive storytelling. The studies do show some benefits, especially for narrative-based or social gratitude practices, but the effects are generally small and not universally transformative. Also, the field is still young and skepticism is warranted, especially regarding claims of dramatic health or neurobiological impacts. And finally, most viewers will likely overestimate the power of gratitude practices based on the way the information is presented. So, if you're looking for a practice that is safe, brief, and may help your mood or relationships, narrative-based gratitude is a reasonable option. But the scientific evidence doesn't support the idea that it's a miracle intervention for everyone, and the hype should be taken with a grain of salt.